Hi guys, welcome back to the Marketing Nomad YouTube channel. Today we're doing an unboxing of a tarot deck, and this is going to be the Midcenturian Tarot Deck. This is by Madam Clara. All right, and the box, on the box, I'm pretty sure you can't see it, but it says Madam Clara sees all, and then over here it says past, present, future. All right, and there's a big question mark, which I feel like you can't see it. I hope you can, but there's a bit of a question mark over there, and that is kind of very significant of the Madam Clara brand. All right, this one is an indie deck. All right, and I'm actually quite excited to kind of get into it. It is a bit abstract from the images that I have seen on the internet, as well as some of the YouTube videos that I've looked into, but I kind of liked the energy of the cards, and I decided, okay, let's go for it. All right, so this is going to be an unboxing. All right, and we are going to kind of look at each card. I'm also going to be giving you my first thoughts about the deck as well. All right, let's get into it. Now, in this particular deck, I have noticed that it comes with a velvet bag and a few trinkets inside. I personally liked the golden eye that you see on top. I think that it is kind of a nod to their quote, Madam Clara sees all. It comes in a sturdy cardboard box, with a magnetic closure. Simple, pretty simple. And inside there's a very minimalistic guidebook. I have read through it, and I frankly just read through it once. It is good enough for beginners to kind of take note, but as an experienced reader, I have to tell you, the magic lies in you looking at the cards and the beautiful intuitive hits that you get. For me, it has been just so magical to take a look at these cards and kind of going into a different zone, because I think that the design on these cards allow you to tap into your intuition in a very, very different way. And we'll kind of get into that as I show you the deck. But for me, yes, as a beginner, it is going to help understand, because it does give a nod to the RWS deck, but I think that the fun comes when you are an experienced reader. Like, the amount of detail that comes through, the amount of information that comes through, it is just, I am amazed every time I use this deck. All right, and I think that it is because of the art. I think that the art leaves a lot of room for dynamic interpretations, and for me, I really like the messages that come through, the ease, I guess I would say, the ease with which the messages come through when I'm using this particular deck. Now, if you're taking a look at, the card style by itself, it's pretty familiar. I mean, I think that the cardstock is, if you have been familiar with Tarot of the Divine cardstock, it's pretty much the same. There's some kind of I wouldn't say fabric, but it does give that feel. It is slightly on the thinner side, but I kind of like the cardstock. It's pretty easy to shuffle as well. Now, with respect to the design on the card, I mean, as you can see over here, it is bold. It is just out there, and only primary colors are mostly used, which is red, blue, and yellow. It kind of matches with the striking yellow background you can see as well. The back of the card, I guess I would say, because the background on these cards are actually pretty flat, if you notice, right? But I think that just makes the design just so much more brighter, bolder, and I love that they use such contrasting colors. And if you look at the design, the artwork on these cards, they're just geometric shapes. That is what I found so fascinating, geometric shapes, clean lines, and it's just abstract, it's not intricate, it's so simplified, and yet there is such deep symbolism in that. And this actually caught my attention when I was watching a couple of YouTube videos on this particular deck, like the unboxing and the review. When I saw it, I wasn't too sure, because a lot of the reviews did say that it was a very, very deeply intuitive deck. But when I saw it, for the first time on YouTube, I didn't really get that feeling, I was hesitant to buy this, but there were so many good reviews out there, and I was like, okay, you know what, maybe I should give this a chance, because all I saw when I saw the deck online was, geometric shapes, and I wasn't sure if it would really be helping me tap into my intuition. And I took a chance because I did see a lot of experienced readers online giving their thoughts, and they were like, you know what, it's actually pretty deep. Like, the amount of information that comes through is actually pretty deep. And so I took a chance on it, and I gotta tell you, it's been a while of me using this particular card deck, and they were absolutely right with their reviews online. There is so much of detail, even though the images are so abstract. There's a lot that comes through the posture of the person, their expressions, even though it's just like a crescent moon, or just their eyes. So much comes through, so much of information comes through, and I am just in awe of this deck, because when you take a look at it for the first time, it probably comes through as something that's very simple, but no, there are so many different and very, very deep layers hidden in this particular deck that I absolutely enjoy reading with it, especially when I have clients that come in with something that are like some issues that are a lot deeper. I definitely use this deck, and especially when I wish to interpret more to do with someone's feelings, someone's behavior, this deck comes through for me all the time, and I've used it quite a bit just for that specific purpose. But of course, this deck can be used for other purposes as well. I think that the messages that come through are very straightforward. They're also a bit sharp. I will give that to this deck. It's a bit sharp. It is not... I would say there's no sugarcoating. There's no sugarcoating when it comes to this deck. And the images are very clear. The messages are sharp. The messages are clear. And the way that I see it, it gives you the answers that you need, not the answers that you want. This is one thing that I have experienced with this particular deck, and it's true. The quote that says Madam Clara sees all, it is very, very true. It holds true for this entire deck. That is the energy of the deck, and I've felt that as I have been working with this deck as well, because even the things that I would not have consciously seen, it comes through as an intuitive hit when the cards come out, and nothing is left nothing is left untouched. Even the parts of me that I wish to avoid, especially when I'm asking questions, right? There are parts of me that I wish to avoid, or I've kind of been tiptoeing around because I don't want to kind of tap into that energy right now. Oh no, this one shows a clear mirror, and it just shows me even the things that I probably would have turned a blind eye to. I found that to be a very, very magical experience to learn that the energy of the deck is very, very consistent that way. So this deck, I would say, no sugarcoating at all. And if you use it, you will feel that the energy of the deck is very powerful. It is very straightforward. It is very sharp, and it will tell you what you need. Always, it will tell you what you need. And I, in particular, love it for, understanding behavior, understanding feelings. I think that there is a lot of depth that comes to that. There's a lot of intuitive messages that come through with that particular respect. And I think that especially when it comes to emotions, there's such an emotional depth when it comes to this particular deck. I'm just so amazed by this. I mean, how can geometric shapes lead to this? I don't know, but it does. It really does. And there's just so much going on the card, even though it's an abstract image. And each card, it tells such a beautiful story with so much of clarity. And I think that one thing this deck offers is clarity. Wherever you are, whatever you're asking about, whatever you need to know, it will give you clarity. And I think most of the times that's what we're looking for. All right, so now we come to the unboxing of it. So when I shot this video, it was quite some time back. I've actually had quite a bit of time to use the deck, and I will also be giving you my thoughts on the deck and how it has been to experience it as well. All right, so first off, we kind of get into why this deck was created. It is definitely a very, very beautiful reinterpretation of the classic RWS deck, and for me, I see a lot of vibrant aesthetics from the mid-century design over here. In this particular deck, there are 78 cards plus 2. There are 2 extra cards. One is called the Unknown card, and the second one is called the Hand of Mysteries card. Actually, in my readings, these cards have come out, and I gotta tell you, each time I have interpreted it so differently, and it just so beautifully ties up with exactly what I needed to hear at that point in time. So I gotta say, those 2 editions, it actually aligns very well with the other 78 cards that come out, and I also feel that it adds a layer of depth to the readings as well. So if you haven't figured out by now, am in awe of this deck. I mean, it is visually striking. It is so easy to interpret, and the messages just keep coming through. Yes, it is a bit flat. It's like a very two-dimensional kind of imagery, I guess I would say. Not an art expert over here, but I have loved understanding this particular art form, and it does focus on negative space. I mean, I do know about negative space as a marketer, as a designer myself, and to understand how beautifully she has captured negative space and used it to actually bring out emotions onto the card. I mean, that's an artist for you. So I have in particular liked that as well. And the typography in this, as you can see, sans serif font. It is blocky, it is stylized, it is kind of like that vintage feel. Very, very mid-centurian, as you can see, as the title goes of the deck. And to kind of summarize this entire review and unboxing of this deck, I do say that this is just a very, very fresh and modern take on your traditional RWS. And if you are looking for a deck that is very on point with the messages, as well as, you know, it is sharp, it is clear, yeah, this is the one for you, definitely. All right, does not sugarcoat anything. And I really think that if you are a beginner, you will get your messages coming very, very clearly from this. But I would recommend this more to experienced readers. Or if you're a beginner, I would say dive deeper into this particular deck. Spend a lot of time with this particular deck, because what comes on the surface during the first few minutes of you watching this deck, and as you dig deeper and deeper, it's completely different. So this deck definitely requires a lot of time that you need to spend with it. There's a lot of bonding time that you need with this deck. But once that happens, oh my gosh, I gotta tell you, the relationship that I have with this particular deck is beautiful for me. I personally love it as well. And for me, I would say experienced readers will have a great time with this, because there's just so many different layers that you can add in. There's so many messages, especially if you are an intuitive reader. Oh my gosh, the amount of layers that this card or this card deck has, you are going to be fascinated, because every time I've pulled out this deck, I have gotten different intuitive hits, and it has amazed me every single time that something as simple as, you know, just very primary geometric shapes, how is it tapping so deep into my intuition? How is it moving my soul, you know, my heart? Because even the emotions that come out of it are so on point. And I really think that it is a wonderful experience to kind of bond with this particular card deck. And I felt like sharing that with you. It is very, very deeply engaging, and it does offer a very, very deep intuitive bond that you will end up sharing with this card deck. And this has been my muse. This definitely has been my muse, and this is where I will leave you for today. I really hope that my review, this unboxing, has helped you kind of decide if this tarot card deck is for you. I would highly recommend it. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced reader, I would say this deck is definitely one for the collection, not just for the artwork, but even for the depth of the artwork and how powerful the energy of the deck is. I would highly recommend it as well. All right, so thank you so much for listening all the way up until here, and also watching, of course. And yeah, I'll catch you in my next one. Bye bye.